Hey guys, today's Tuesday, September the 26th of 2023, and I wanted to go over natural gas, but I wanted to show you uranium futures. Look at that. We're about to kiss, and I think we're going to kiss it this week. The $71 target I have. I have two big ones, 71, then the 77. This is the big one right here. And I believe we're probably going to kiss it this year. It looks like it's heading that way. There's also the 73, but it's not as important as the 77. This is the big kahuna. Then comes 71. So what concerns me is the 7-year cycle kicks in November. So I'm giving it a little wiggle room. It's not always exactly, but sometimes it plays out. It's exactly, these cycles of Gann's theory hit it on the nose, and sometimes there's a little fluctuation. So you have to be considerate. So I'm giving it a little wiggle room of October and December. But the main hot zone will be November from the low that the uranium spot price made. So that's my concern. You can see if you anchor this phase accumulation distribution pattern from right here to here using the ellipse, you see that everything's kind of lining up here. So it looks like it wants to head up there. Once it heads up there, let's see what happens. And if it's in projection hitting that in November, ooh, that could be spooky. I don't know what that could be, but that'd be very interesting. But just want to make a note on that. Let's go into natural gas. This is the video. So what I'm not liking about natural gas? Well, volume is kind of low on the monthly. Still having a tough time of the market profile. Point of control 279. We just chopping around there like chop suey. On the weekly, you can see that we're just hovering around the center of gravity too. So we're just oscillating back and forth. Now we're a little weaker. As long as we don't take these lows out, so far, if it just goes sideways here, it's okay. But once you start taking some lows out, then it could get very ugly. On the daily, you can see the center point of control is right here, 258, and you got these anchored VWAPs, so it's still above it, but there's some strong selling pressure and volume. Not too exciting. We're just dipping in low and lowers, like just people leaving, I guess. I don't know where they're going, but traders, everybody's just not trading. And there's no conviction. There's big sellers here. There's big sellers here, 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 and especially when they hit $3. All the big, huge sellers come in and pounce it back down. Whoever's selling up here is huge. And the bulls are having a tough time penetrating and pushing higher. When he comes, or whoever it is comes selling, we're having a tough time trying to explode him back up. So that's the battle that we have right now as bulls on natural gas. What else concerns me? Let's go to some other. This is the midpoint chart. My simple glance, MACD is still positive. We're kind of chopping around here on the. Let's see over here. Having a tough time over here with my charts. I've been out of the loop, so I've been kind of forgetting my shortcuts here. Okay. As you can see on the linear regression channel, they're just pointing sideways. What does that indicate? Pure chop fest right here. Value area low, point of control. We're just oscillating back and forth with a little tight, price action formation. So this is great for scalpers. But the trend is not happening, and the 20 SMA is approaching, and I think we're below it or hovering around it. What concerns me is the MACD weekly has never been positive, so that concerns me. It could probably play out where it starts going down. We know that the weekly cycles are up, but you know what? The daily cycles hit a peak somewhere around August 11th. August 10th, August 11th, somewhere around here, the daily cycle hit a peak. And now this daily cycle is going down to December around there of 2024. So hopefully natural gas doesn't follow the daily cycle, but it could. I'm not ruling it out because, everything can go up, in a straight line. So the daily cycle could just now tame it down, and it could go down and somewhere around December or January, then it starts going up. But overall, the weekly cycle is up. So you need that oscillation, to go back and forth like the roads, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. But as long as you got the big weekly cycle going up, that's what's important. So it's okay if it pulls back. Maybe it gives you opportunity to, pick some more, better prices or whatnot. So that's that for the weekly. Now we look at the daily. You can see that now we're like out of the cloud. So we hit this key level here, bounced right off of it. We dipped here, got back in, but now as of today, we're out of the cloud. So if we close and never get back in the cloud, that's a negative. Maybe the 100 SMA is going to be support. You got some support here, and that's what 250 and 245. You can see that the cloud was already starting to get negative. That's like 26 days back. You can start counting. You can see that the future was already starting to look in gloom. Now we find support, we bounce up. This is going to be a big level to be fighting, which is the 272. That's a 50% right there. So that's going to be strong. And if we can penetrate that and push back lower, then that's not going to be good. But if we could break right through that and continue and maybe test the value area high of 282, even 308, that's better. But so far right now, the path of least resistance is to the downside. The MACD is negative. As you can see, it's just been going back and forth. The last signal is short. So the 100, if it pushes lower, probably this would be the best entry point right here, this linear regression channel, because it lines up with this this key level right here of the cloud, which is 245. That would be, especially if it's like a nice flush down. This is where I would probably accumulate right here and see if it holds. And if I see something positive coming in, then, buy from here and ride it to maybe somewhere around here as a target, 272, or maybe even the point of control. But most likely it'll probably go a little higher or maybe test this here up here. But we'll see. But the daily cycle is not helping. But, we'll see. We will see. Midpoint chart. As you can see with the trend lines, let's see, trend lines. Yep. We already cracked this one. So there's one coming down here. Let me make this small. It's pretty big. Ooh, too small. All right. So we got some trend lines here. And these are important ones. And now we're below it. We did it here and popped right back. We held it here. Now we failed it. So we could maybe find support there. Let's go to our other chart that has other trend lines that I like to see from a log scale chart. So yeah, so over here we failed it. Yeah, it was even higher here. I just want to look at that. Okay, let's go back over here. Our Gann grids, you can see we failed this midpoint here from this first impulse wave. This was the important key level there, and that failed. You got this 250 level, which is at 25%. And you got the midpoint right here, which is 248. So it's strong levels right there. You can see that it held it there, it held it there, it held it there. So if it's going to go down, it could go down all the way down there. Measured moves, I got some here. There's a key level there, 252. Let's see how that's going to play out. That's the closest one I can see in regards to moves in the past. Let's see, support and resistance. Yeah, so this whole area right here is going to be a support zone. Probably move this a little over right here. There we go. So let's open up and look at our midpoint chart. Put this back over here. So we failed the midpoint here, which was 272. Now for next month is going to be, well, it depends where we close. So we can't say that yet, but it's still negative. The monthly is negative. 248, you see 250. Key levels of support if it's going to go all the way down. On the weekly, we failed, the midpoint here, 268 and 273. So price action, you see it tested it here and couldn't penetrate it. Now we're pushing lower for targets to the downside, 252 all the way to 245 for the weekly for this week. And for the daily, we already extended ourselves to 257. It's already at 256, and there's that trend line right here. So far, the path of least resistance is to the downside, unfortunately. Big sellers up here, and there's nothing positive here. Yep. You could do a trend line there. And, I don't know. But all here, right here, this is where it needs to hold. This whole area right here, all these bottom wicks. If we push below there and can't penetrate there and go and then just keep going, then yeah, it's not going to look good. Maybe the daily cycle has already gotten a hold of natural gas and is probably going to go sideways to lower until, I don't know, December. I can't remember exactly where that bottoms, but somewhere around there of either this year, December, or January, it starts then going up. So we'll see how that's going to play out. But hopefully you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on natural gas.